Welcome to Girls Guts Glory,
the broadcast.
Previously on the broadcast.
But as you look, that's not really happening.
I don't know what you were trying to do, ma'am, but it didn't work. Now stop it.
I'm straight up about to shoot her.
Should she shoot? Should we run?
I throw a firebolt at her.
You will. Fire will kill you. Language, immaturity, drugs, terror, laxity, kissing boils, only kind of following the rules.
You're gonna roll first, and then I want everyone to roll initiative, okay?
Critical hit.
Oh, critical! Wow, roll for damage. As you have been shaking and in fear as you have pointed your finger out, and then you just unleash it.
I roll twice for the critical.
You can multiply the original amount.
Multiply by 2?
By 2, yeah.
10 damage.
Nice. So yeah, this shock of energy hits this hag and just vibrates throughout her whole body.
Does she still look like me?
I'll say this much. After you hit her that hard, there seems to be some sort of physical rejection of what she had been kind of giving you the illusion of, and she seems to have dropped whatever she was trying to put on and is really just back in her hag form, snarling at you with her teeth and her nose just dripping with fucking gross shit. Excuse me, Lincoln. But I think it's quite funny. So let everyone roll initiative, please. And I would like us to go around in unison. Those creepy creatures of hers that she has around her are going to be working underneath the same initiative order as well. So they're all going to be kind of working in unison together in like groupthink. So, anybody get a 20 and above? 20 to 15? 15 to 10?
Oh no.
Silence. We're all screwed.
Under 10?
I can't roll anything great.
What did you guys get 10 below? So let's start with like a 10 to 5.
8.
7.
4.
Okay, so it's 10 to 5. 10 to 5. What did you get?
8.
8. Okay, so Letty is 8. And then
7.
7. 7 for you. And a 5. 5 for Huck.
5 for her.
4 for both sisters.
Both sisters got
At 4. We rolled the same initiative last time too.
So
We
who
are
would
twins.
Like to go first? You guys get to choose.
My initiative is, or my dex is higher.
Oh, all right. So with that being said, first up is the hag as she kind of cackles and laughs after being hit with that energy. She takes a moment and she kind of breathes in her own seared skin and looks to you and goes, "That wasn't very nice," as she kind of rushes forward as quickly as she possibly can, kind of just charging at you, just feet through the muck in the swamp. As she kind of runs and runs and runs, she's able to get, and you guys had all kind of stepped back a solid 5 feet in unison, but her hands and her claws are pretty outstretched, and she's able, with that long fingers and those nails, to just get the clip of your arm as you had pointed it out. She runs forward and slashes down at you. What is your AC?
It is 14 because of mage armor.
So she runs and runs and runs, and her hand, this disgusting hand, comes down and hits you for 26 points of slashing damage.
My.
I'm out.
As this chunk of body just comes right out of Celine, and she gets knocked to the ground. The witch in front of you all laughing and cackling as her back kind of cracks as she tries to get in an upright position.
Question: how long does Goodberry last? How if I
You cast it in the morning because you guys don't have any rations. You've eaten through it. They last all day.
Sweet. So I have a couple still.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you had to recast it in the morning.
Yeah.
But you now have your 10 good berries once
Okay,
more
sweet.
on you.
Just making sure.
Slices down at you. You are knocked out, unfortunately. And then, because they seem to all be moving with their mother in unison, all of these little tiny creatures kind of snicker around and are running full speed ahead towards you guys, climbing and jumping off trees and all kind of swarming whoever they can first find. They're all going to A-line it to Huck because Huck is at the front and kind of protecting everybody with arms outstretched. So all these little creatures come up and try to jump on top of you. Woof. That is, they only have +1, but that's still a 17 to hit.
I'll hit.
All right. So in unison, all 15 of these creatures, very tiny, come and swarm you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One second. Gotta find 15.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm
11,
probably
12,
out.
13, 14, 15. Okay. So
Perhaps we should rethink this deal.
15. Yeah. That's okay. So these ones don't count because they are so weak, but these ones do. All right. Yeah, that's 20 because there's so many of this. 26 points of bludgeoning damage. As one by one, each one crawls on top of you and it's just smacking you as hard as they possibly can. And the thing about these creatures is, as they work in unison, there's oil dripping from them. So right now, Huck is completely covered in this dripping oil as all these creatures are kind of on top of you, swarming you in your body.
Just shrieking and swatting him. Get away! Get off! That's mean!
And I do need you to make a strength saving throw because of the way that these creatures act.
Gosh, really? Really?
Uh,
Really? 13.
A 13. So you're able to kind of keep.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh.
15, sorry.
Yeah, you're able to keep your wits about you. Still move your arms. You're not like restrained or anything yet. You're able to still move and hit them off you. But they're very sticky and they're really trying to keep you on the ground. Okay, that is their turn. Letty, what are you gonna do?
well, I because I'm very scared. I'm in my, my normal personality, and I just excuse me. I would like to talk to the lady in charge. Mel comes out.
Okay, sounds good.
I feel like we've made an error in judgment, and we might rethink this deal. I'm somewhat of a deal maker, and we would like to maybe rethink it.
Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh, good. I'm so persuasive. Disadvantage.
Yeah, 2 of those take the lower of the 2.
3, and then persuasion 5.
Yeah, you have a feeling that she's pretty intent on her actions here, as you have been asking this, and it's just met with loud cackles up and down.
Well, all right. Letty. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. I think I'm getting a handle on how to switch into character. So that's great. Now I'm going to take my. Was that considered? No, that wasn't an action.
You can call that a bonus action if
Thank
you want.
you. Okay.
Do you wish to do something realizing that does not work?
Yes, it's not going to work. So I'm going to use my daggers.
Sounds good.
Because that's what I have to do. Now, which dice is not going to betray me? Maybe this one.
So yeah, you rolled to hit her with this dagger.
Natural 20.
And that 20 as well, as the dagger finds leverage.
But I didn't even add 5, so 25.
Yeah, no, that's an auto hit. So roll that d4 and multiply it by 2, and then
Okay,
add,
where is? Oh, I hate
and
this.
then add that
D4.
extra.
I don't like
bonus
these
on.
little ones. Oh fuck. So 1
So that's 2 points of plus.
plus 3 piercing.
So 5. 5 points of piercing damage. But the thing is that you get leverage into her. That dagger, where does it go? You tell me how you hit her with 5 points.
Does she have an area that looks weaker than anything else?
That nose is really something.
Oh, God.
I just want to write maybe into her head.
Sounds good, yeah.
Near her nose, but just above.
Yeah,
like
it
a
goes
third
directly
eye.
above. I'm going to say, because it's 5 points of damage, it kind of slices into the front, and there's flaps of skin
Great.
where her forehead folds.
Oh,
So you're able to kind of slice into some of the folds of her forehead and get that dagger lodged in there. It's like
Great.
this green, black blood kind of oozes in between her nose, on either side of her nose, just dripping into her mouth as she tastes it and licks it and laughs.
And Letty raises her fists and says, "Don't you mess with me!"
As that has happened, it is now Starla's turn, hiding behind the tree, very stealthed.
I'd like to make a sneak attack.
You may. You may.
So Starla's been standing behind this tree with an arrow notched for quite some time, just waiting. And as soon as the witch runs forward, she releases that arrow.
All right, roll to hit.
I did not roll a natural 20, but I did roll an 18.
That is enough to hit her. Roll for that damage and that sneak attack. Oh, yeah, that sound.
Oh. Okay, well, 6 points of piercing damage and then 2 sneak attack.
Nice. So 9 in total. No, not 9. 8, right? 2, you said 6 points and 2? Am I correct?
Yeah, 8 points.
Nice. So, you take a moment, you knock this arrow from around the corner of the tree. It hits her back because of the angle and the position that you are in. As you kind of slice into her side, she takes a moment and kind of cackles and laughs towards you.
Bonus action. I'm gonna hide behind a different tree.
All right, so you use that motion. You run nearby, one of the other trees about 10 feet away, and you just dip behind it. So yeah, her eyes are looking. She's trying to follow you. You have a feeling, though, that she's not able to catch you as you're able to run from shadow to shadow. All right. Sneak it. Huck, what do you do?
Well, Huck's looking pretty damn bad. Like he might drop at any second. Yeah, Huck is gonna disregard all the things that are currently on him, and he's going to use Slayer's Prey on the woman.
All right.
And aim a crossbow for her head.
All right, take a moment. You just take a step back as you're just within range of her. She's about 5 feet away. You just need to make sure you're on that cusp, and you are. You got that crossbow in front
I'm
of you.
aiming for an eyeball, and I want to blind her.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. 22.
22 to hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hit. Roll for damage.
All right. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding? They're both ones. But, so total damage 6, one of which is the Slayer's Prey.
Yeah, you take a moment, you knock that, but it's harder than you're expecting. You feel like usually you have your wits about you, but with all these creatures on you, you're not exactly able to get the exact hit you want. The crossbow just nicks across her eye and slices into some of that extra skin, cuts off a good chunk of her hair right by her cranium, and you can just kind of see it seeping out. But she's still standing and kind of cackles towards you and kind of unfurls both of her hands and then brings them together curiously.
You're real gross, ma'am!
All right, moving along. Celine. Death save.
Death save. I forgot about
No,
death
D20.
saves. Oh my goodness. Do I add anything?
No, it's just a flat.
8.
That is a failure, my friend. So 2 more of those, and we're in the gutter. Druzilda, what do you do?
Yes. So, hang on, I just had an idea and then I lost it. I'm trying to get it back. Okay. How close am I to her?
You are currently 5 feet away from her.
Okay.
She's run all the way up to you all.
Okay. All right. Then what I would like to do is, first I would like, so I want to try to use this meta magic. I want to use the Quickened, which is two sorcery points for a bonus action to any action spell. So my first spell that I would like to do is I'd like to do Sleep again on all the little guys.
Okay.
So I cast it behind them.
Okay,
and
they're on
You're
your
gonna
friend
hit
now.
me.
So
they're on the friend?
Yeah, so you
Okay,
know,
never
and you know
mind.
this spell well, that if you cast it, it's gonna hit
Okay.
probably your friend here.
Then not doing that. Instead, I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb on the, whatever her name is, Earthafino. And Gratsy. And I'll roll to hit.
Yeah. You're casting this orb.
Natural 20!
Natural
Oh my
20!
god!
Oh my goodness.
Everyone
Plus
else is rolling
6.
so
That's
well. I rolled
fantastic.
2 ones.
You tell me what sort of effect you want this chromatic orb to have against her, especially something as strong as it's going to be right now.
So I want fire damage.
Just you want to incinerate
I
her.
raise up my hands, and out of them shoot all these orbs, 4 orbs, flying at her face of fire. She will take 4d8 fire damage. So 7 plus 7, 14, plus 6, 20. 20 points of
20.
damage.
Wow. 20 points. And that's a roll to hit, correct? That's a ranged spell attack. So yeah, that you just create this massive ball of fire. Where do you place it by her?
I'm going for that ugly schnoz.
Oh my god, I love it. So you take a moment, you cast out this spell right directly in front of her face, this orb burning.
Is it doubled because of...
Yes, did you double the damage?
No! That's 40!
Oh my god! I thought that you doubled from 10. So it's actually
good catch.
40 points of
Yeah.
damage.
God.
Oh,
40
geez.
points of damage.
All right, you know
Love
what?
my orbs.
That is a lot of damage right now. What happens is this. She's cackling and laughing, having seen your friend here knocked to the ground unconscious. She's feeling great. She's seen all of her minions swarm one of your buddies. She's living it. She's got her... Suddenly, there's a scent of burning skin in the air, as the laughter turns to shrieking, horrifying screams. When your chromatic orb just doesn't orb, it actually consumes, as this thing in front of her just burns as bright as the day's sun.
Take that for my sister.
And it just, as it cascades away and just explodes with this damage, her nose is just seared off. Her face is completely melted into itself. The whole front of her body, you can see what she looks like underneath those rags. It is not a pleasant look. Oh, no. Centuries of draped skin to a point where you don't know it starts and it begins and it ends.
Honey, you didn't age well.
But you definitely created such a powerful spell that it itself has created an armor of blackened body burnt across the front of her chest. It's wild. And it's hideous, and she looks like she's on her last leg. And as the shriek fills the forest, this high-pitched shriek, she takes a moment as this kind of half creature still existing but barely standing, takes a moment and just starts to laugh again. Just this overwhelming laugh. All right. That is your turn. It is now her turn. She takes a moment, just laughing. And in this kind of like fierce grunt, she just disappears.
This close.
A moment passes. You can barely even hear if she's gone in any direction. All of the creatures on you, after seeing their mother disappear, just scurry off of you. And just in panic. And just start to disperse and run in different directions. Do you guys want to try to hit them on the way out?
Can I grab one by the neck before it comes
Heck
up?
yeah. So you grab one of them by the neck just in time as they're all running off. There's like 15 of them, and seeing their mother getting decimated that way, they're full of fear, having seen your friend with this vicious anger just incinerate the front of this hag. And this little creature just kind of with its little, your hand around its neck is squirming as its oil is dripping all throughout your hand. And if anybody wants to try to help,
I have good berry. Let me go pop a good berry in her mouth, and then I'm gonna hog tie this little creature.
Okay. You take this creature, you go over to her, you lift up her head, you pop in at least one good berry, so she's able to come back without any trouble. So you're just on the precipice of death and life because one hit point's in you.
Heidi.
What happened?
Well, I walk over to my sister and I place my hands on her to give her healing hands and boost it up an additional 3 more hit points.
Okay.
So how many is that?
4. Up to 4 right now.
I have...
Where are my spells?
So mine are only cantrips. I don't have any healing ones.
You have healing word,
Do you have
but
healing
But I'm not... Can I use that now?
you
Yeah.
may use it whenever you wish.
Oh, well then. I would like to use it on her.
And I believe
She
it's
vanished.
1d4 plus your
Yes.
spellcasting
Oh,
ability.
gosh.
I was so close to incinerating her. 4.
Yeah.
One more.
3
One more
plus
hit from
2.
any of us might have finished her, and then she
5.
vanished.
Huck is just like crouched on the ground with his knee on top of this squirmy little creature, hog tying it, like doing his actual cowboy ties and everything, making it like a little bundle in a hemp rope. And Huck looks up and he's like, "Your sister did an awful lot of damage and almost incinerated. That was really, really impressive."
Of course she did.
Thanks, Huck.
It's worth noting I'm also almost dead. So, just an FYI, if we run into more things, I am not gonna be at the front of the group.
I am going to cast Cure Wounds on myself and also on Huck.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
You take a moment as this like energy pulsates through your hands. You put one on your heart, you put the other on Huck's heart, and you just kind of let this energy seep and radiate and kind of heal up those very, very deep gnashes in both of you.
7 each. Should I roll separately because I'm doing 2 separate spells? So I'll take the 7. Let's see, and you will get 11.
Thank you very much.
as you guys are kind of surging forward, trying to heal these deep gnashes and this very scary kind of encounter in the middle of these strange woods, you take a moment, having realized that all of those small creatures have run away. This one, can you tell me how you're handling it? It's very slippery and oily, and it keeps seeping oil to try to kind of squeeze out of all of your restraints.
So Huck has experience with this as a cowboy. He's hog-tied it completely, so hands, ankles, and wrists are bound together, like a little prize pig, and he's also wrapped a bit around the neck where the shoulders can't slip through, and the head, you said, was really big, so he can't slip through the other way, and he has started to wrap it a little bit, so it creates a bassinet kind of a thing.
So that way it's seeping,
Yeah.
it's sucking in all the oil so it can't drip around.
Exactly.
All right.
And he can't just like slide through. It's like a rope papoose.
A rope papoose.
May I? Huck, I would like to try an experiment. I would like to dip my crossbow arrows inside the oil that's collecting in the bassinet and make them flammable.
Oh yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I dip all my arrows in oil,
take
hoping
a
they'll be
moment.
flammable.
You take a moment, you dip your oil in, and as you dip your arrow into the oil, and as you do so, the oil kind of drips almost perfectly off of it, as if it does not seep or set into other non-permeable objects, but this is definitely creating oil. It's just the oil doesn't dance with other objects the way you would suspect. It's almost as if this creature has a special ability to produce a very strange sort of oil that is almost a defensive oil.
If I have any vials, I'm just gonna start filling vials. And he has it like wrapped around his shoulder like a little purse.
I don't believe you have any vials on your knapsack. I don't think you guys have any currently. Vials are something that sometimes you have to go and grab, and I think in a rush out of your homesteads and your dorms, you guys probably didn't grab as much as you were expecting along the way. That's not to say that you can't get them. You know that in Candlekeep there are lots of places that have vials, and no doubt you could raid one of the teacher's supply closets and get quite a few of them if you wanted them. But for now, no way to source this besides the sort of cloth that you've been able to wrap around the creature, and it's kind of seeping with oil as you squeeze it, like a little oil sponge.
Greasy little morsel, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very disgusted.
Do you think that we should move?
Yeah, we should leave. We should leave.
I wonder though, where are we going?
I'm gonna use my good old nature eyes and look for a path through the forest. If there's like a heavily treaded path, or if it looks like this is a way that travelers go through this place.
As you take a moment and you look around, Celine, you're just trying to recover from this fight. These gnashes in you are creating, hopefully not scars, but if you can sleep them off for a few days, hopefully it'll heal over. But that was a deep wound. Those claw marks of the hand through the front of your body, enough to knock you out. You're definitely feeling the effects of just the shock of that moment, having been knocked down. As you take a moment, you guys look around. Also, I would say, using your rogue eyes, having seen and hidden behind some of the nearby trees and dashed from one to the other, you had caught that the trees nearby from which the hag had exited, much more gnarled woods, much more dangerous brush, a lot more thorny, thick bushes and other sort of plant life. You have a feeling that if you go in that direction, it's going to be very hard. You're going to have to hack away, and it's not going to be easy sort of road. But from the direction that you're standing in, from where you were standing in, where Huck soon meets you, you look out in the direction not too far away, right on the cusp of your vision, in the far distance, you do see what appears to be some sort of very rough dirt path.
I'm gonna pop my head out from around the tree and go, I think we got a path over here.
Yeah, I think we should just use this path. Maybe it'll lead us out.
That'll be fine, then we can find a place to rest where Celine can regain some of her strength, and then we can determine what better to do. All in agreement say aye.
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 Aye. That settles it. Lead the way, Starla.
All right.
The next couple hours, you guys follow this dirt path. It actually, at first, is very rudimentary. Very rudimentary. You guys were definitely on the edge of a walked forest and then a little bit more questionable forest. You hear some wildlife in the distance. You actually think that you might even hear voices on the cusp of your vision, on the cusp of your hearing. And as you do so, and you follow very cautiously the sound of very distant voices, you actually catch a clearing within the forest in itself, and it splits into two directions. The trees here are much more inviting, much taller, and they do look like they have been planted and taken care of here in a way that is almost inviting. But it splits off to the left and it splits off to the right. And what you see here is a path on the left, and that dirt, that very rudimentary dirt path that you guys have been following for almost 3 hours now, has turned into a bit more of almost like a cobblestone path. Now there's rocks there's stones that peter off to the left. Off to the right, you see what also appears to be almost like hardened clay, these sort of tiles put together on the right-hand side. There's a divergence in the path, and you see one tiny little kind of childlike looking post with two directions on it. There's an arrow pointing down the path of the cobblestone path, and there's one pointing in the direction of the clay path. And from what you can read, one of them says, "Home, away."
Which one says which? Does
The one
Cobble
on the
say?
left with the cobblestone says home, and the other one says away.
Well, this is a predicament. We could either go home or away. And, I feel like we should go home.
Well, that depends on whose home it is. Like, what if this is the home of that hag?
Well,
She seemed like she'd have better handwriting.
Oh, maybe. I don't
Unless
know.
she had one of
She's
these plump little morsels write it for her.
She had really ugly hands.
That's
I mean,
true. I don't know how
imagine
anyone
writing
could do
with-
anything with those nasty
With those
fingernails.
nails.
okay, ladies.
I never.
Letty shuts them up and says, "We have to decide, because I think we have to go back and find all the people that are in that book and take them down one by one." This is just me assuming things, but maybe.
I don't think we're strong enough to go back.
We have to go back.
Also, I'm not a lady. So,
Oh, right. Hello. I'm sorry. You're just so kind and have beautiful little freckles, and
Oh,
sometimes I
thank you.
forget. Sorry.
Excuse me, I am rather tired. I feel like I need to rest. But also, sometimes when I dream, I have visions, so perhaps that can help us decide which way to go.
That sounds.
That is, after all, what led me to my sister.
well, should we rest here then? Or should we go down one of these paths?
We should find a cave nearby to rest and then dream which path to go down, is what you're saying, I think.
Are there caves here?
Somewhere safe to rest, perhaps? Or we can take turns to rest. But I hope that I may be able to, or perhaps my sister, that either one of us might be able to get some insights through our dreams.
Quick clarification, what kind of terrain is this?
Forest terrain.
Forest? Okay.
But you guys did hear some sort of voice, some sort of discussion happening in the distance. The voices have stopped now. And where you guys currently are in these two paths that kind of peter off in either direction, you swear you hear in the far distance that voice, some sort of, it's a male voice maybe, in the direction of where it says home.
Do I sense what the voice, if they sound jolly or angry, or is there any sort of sense I
Hard
have?
to hear from here, definitely.
Okie dokie, well, I'm gonna go see. I mean, what harm can it do, I guess? Hawk just starts walking down the path towards home.
Okay. I'm gonna go with him.
All right. So as you guys are kind of cautiously walking down the cobblestone path, the stones become more and more refined looking, and you can definitely tell that you're creating some noise. Like the stones themselves create this kicked up sound, not of cracking feet on the brush or leaves. Like there's a distinct sound of clattering as you're making your way to the left-hand side of the divergent path. I'm assuming the rest of you probably keep behind them and let them scout ahead ever so slightly. It depends on what you guys want to do.
I am exhausted, so I lean on my sister, but I say to her, well, obviously he didn't like my idea. Perhaps we should just
Stick together.
stick together.
And I she's leaning on me, and we are hobbling down the way on the cobblestones.
Trying to make sure that blood isn't dripping off and that you're in good spirits as you're approaching whatever this might be in this very questionable and strange forest.
And Letty looks around, and they've already taken off, and she's kind of just by herself looking around. And
Letty, come along.
oh, okay, I'm coming. Wait, go slower, please.
You kind of you're stumbling a little bit over the cobblestone as everyone's walking
Whoops.
forward.
Tripped.
But you're able to make things out a little bit better after about a 10-minute walk. Very cautiously, very, very deliberately trying to make sure that you're not approaching it in any sort of way that could rile up any sort of altercation or create. You're trying to do it as quietly as possible, essentially. And you feel like you can hear now what that is. It's not two voices. It's one voice. And then it's the sound of a flute. And you hear this. I wish I were a young man. I will be a young man today. Ha ha. And it's some sort of creature doing a call and response with a wood instrument and singing himself a song in the far distance. You can also smell and see now that through this kind of area, this little path, though the trees are covering and providing shelter and shade from the sun, there's definitely the scent of something cooking in the air. Some sort of meal, and it's very pronounced. It seems like some sort of like clove-based dish. It's full of spices, and it's kind of tickling your nose. It's quite. It's hard to tell if it's food or if it's the scent is of a cinnamon clove. It's almost luscious and decadent and sweet in the air.
Oh my goodness, I love that sound, that music. It reminds me of home. I feel like I'm going to stop performing and go, I need to find this little jolly guy. Where is he?
Huck's like right out front, and he's just marching up, trying to find. Still trying to be quiet, but trying to like look around trees or something to see what this thing is before he just very brazenly like will go out and say hello.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, you just kind of keep charging forward as all of you guys are catching this, and you're all starting to hobbling forward or trailing behind. As you kind of walk forward very, very, and approach kind of just unapologetically in some ways, the music stops, and then you kind of stop, and then you hear this being sung. I guess there are strangers approaching, la 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 la. How do you do, strangers? Can you hear my voice in the distance? Welcome to my home, home of mine.
Howdy there, my name's Huckle.
I'm a singer! And so you don't know where the voice comes from, but you hear like the sound of something kind of approaching you guys.
Where are you?
As you look around, you can definitely hear the sound, and you suddenly look upward, and above, in some of the trees up in towards the top of the trees there, keeping its distance, you see these two little legs swinging over one of the branches. Cloven, like they're actual hooved feet here, and this little kind of furry little legs of his, this kind of just fleshed out torso, just manly torso up and about, and this little wood instrument that's kind of dangling over him, in the shape of a very interesting looking male object, and
Letty closes her eyes because she's very. Did you look at what that was?
It's a penis pat.
This is Hansel. Hello. Sorry. This is another. Hello. You haven't met me yet.
No.
I am Hasselbachen Fuchenstein.
Hasselbeck?
Hasselbachen Fuchenstein.
Hasselbeck, that's
it's
cool.
hard, it's easy, it's very well. But I particularly love that instrument. I'm an opera singer, and this looks very, very funny to me.
Okie dokie. Anyway, hi, what's your name?
Oh, hello. It's so nice to meet you. I am Hetty.
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 You're Hetty.
Yes.
It's very funny because we have a girl.
I have. Oh, You get my jokes. You do. And he's just kind of like swinging his feet, and he kind of takes a moment as he like drops down with one arm onto another branch nearby. Now a little bit more like 15, 20 feet above you, not less like 25 feet up into the sky, as he's kind of hopping from the very faint sunlight trickling through all of these very high maple trees. He takes a moment and he kind of looks at you all. You can see that he's got kind of little pointy horns on the top of his head. And he's just walking like up and down, like strutting his stuff on this branch. And he goes, "What do you think of my wood instrument?"
Darling, I love it very much. It's very great. I
you.
feel like I want to play it.
I created it myself. I am a woodworker. I love working with wood.
I know you do, and I love the way you strut.
Oh,
It's very nice.
Thank you
Strut
so
it,
much.
yes.
Oh, yes,
If you want me to play with your instrument, I can.
Oh, I don't have any interest. Maybe that one there, but
Excuse me, sir, and Letty, now being Hasselbacken, is
Yes.
is looking up, just with her arms waving. Can you tell me who you are? What was your? We know your name, but what do you live here?
What? Of course, did you not see my sign? You're walking on my cobblestone. This is my home. Do you want to come party? Do you want to come party with me?
Actually, Hetty, will you play a song with me?
What?
And then Huckle pulls out this banjo.
Huckle is about now.
But Hetty's kind of like dancing and moving his arms on either side of him as he strikes a pose, and he points down at you with his penis pipe, and he goes, "Hey, you all. So why don't you come party with me? And I've been making some mead. You can smell it in the air. And we can all hang out at my home. Doesn't that sound lovely? You guys all look like you could use a drink. Wait, you're young. You're young. Oh, I like it. Maybe I can bring you down over to the party side and show you how it all should be in your early 20s.
I lean in and examine his face to gauge if he's trustworthy.
There's a moment that there's a twinkle in his eye of there's something in him that he likes to probably twist your arm a little bit, but it doesn't seem ill-intended. It just seems like he's taking advantage of having strangers walk into his home.
Excuse me, if we come in, can we sleep? Can rest? We have a sick friend.
Oh, you can rest if you party with me.
If I party with you, can we have her sleep?
Yes. Come. And he kind of like jumps from one more branch to the other and hops in front of you guys. You can actually see now, like, this is about a 4.5 foot tall, you don't even know, this creature has a low furry body and a weird cloven goat looking head. It's a combination of human and beast. But he's got this nice big red beard, this auburny red beard, and this big mustache, and he's completely bald on the top of his head.
I turn to my sister and I say, "I've heard of these. Is this a fun?"
Oh, I'm not a fun. I'm a satyr, baby.
A satyr.
A satyr.
All right, show us the way then.
And he kind of like hops and cobbles away on the cobblestone. Follow me, keep up. And he just keeps going.
Huck starts to play his banjo for walking music as they go.
So, what you guys walk into is an interesting sight. It's this like half cut down tree in the middle of the forest. Seems like maybe it long rotted away, and the tree in itself, this is the only tree of its sort. When it grew, it seemed to have grown not up, but out. So the arms and the branches of the tree are kind of extended on either side, almost as if anyone could sit and swing on them. It's kind of the visual here. And, there's very faint leaves still growing on the edges of it, showing some life in the tree. But this tree looks almost as if it was shot down with some sort of lightning a long time ago and then started growing in this kind of deformed state. In the center of it, you can see that he has completely carved out the center part of where he lives. It's almost like a hollowed out tree on the bottom. Very small, like that pretty much can maybe house all of you comfortably. But you see all of these mats of this like ridiculous looking, it's like all bearskin rugs essentially. Everywhere, just bearskin rugs. You can smell and sense that incense that's already like with the moment he walks up to it, it's protruding from the tree. It's not even that he's burning it right now. It's just like the scent of incense is just right as you're about to walk into this homestead or near this homestead. But that scent of clove and cinnamon most distinctly as he kind of unfurls his arm before you and shows off his home to you. You can tell two things. There's an area in the back behind this tree where that smell is coming from, and then on the left-hand side, there's just all of these instruments that look like different parts of the anatomy of a human body, of men and women, of all different creatures alike. Very, very intricately done in different designs, but there's like boob bongos, and there's like yes, and there is like a saxophone that looks like a dongalong, and there's
A dongalong. Is that the technical term? Is the dongalong?
a dongalong. And there's like there's this guitar of two people in a position that you can strum.
Huckle's just like as red as the berries. He's bright red and looking at the ground and not making eye contact with anyone.
He's giggling so hard as you're walking forward and checking out all of his stuff. He's like,
Starla leans into to Huckle and says, "Hey, Huckle, that one looks like a dingling."
No, I'm not. No, don't make me look.
Look,
No,
it's a dingling.
no.
Well, Letty looking up at all of these symbols of fertility and human spirit. Would usually be very shy, but she has these big doe eyes under the glasses, and she just says, as Hanselbach, "I feel very at home here." You were right when you pointed at home.
"Oh, wait, thank you. Do you want to play my xylophone butt?"
I would love to, darling.
It's like this xylophone that looks like it's made out of a bunch of butts, and he's just kind of banging on it for a moment. And he goes, "Help yourself to my mead." And so you see where that scent was coming from. This very big vat of bubbling and boiling mead. The scent from it is just, again, carried from nearly half a quarter mile away.
We would love to have some of your mead. However, is there a safe place I can put my sister to rest?
Oh,
She's not well, as you can see.
Yeah, I'd like to lay down as well.
is it music that you need?
She needs rest, sleep.
I need some sort of healing. As you can see, I have these very deep gashes.
So pretty. You sure you want to heal them away? It shows how beautiful your form is, darling.
The gashes bother me less than how I am feeling, which is quite... I have a lack of energy and some pain.
Well, you drink some of my mead and go to bed. You can sleep in my homestead.
Okay, so Hanselbacken turns to everyone and says, "Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, can we have a meeting in the corner for a second?"
I'll play you music as you talk.
Thank you, darling.
And he kind of bangs on the
We all
xylophone.
come over, we gather
He
around.
gets on the bongos. He, twiddles on the pipe.
And she says, I have a feeling that this man might not be trustworthy. I feel like his mead might be poisoned or could have a spell. I feel like we should check it because he very much wants us to drink the mead before you go to bed. I feel like it could be a trick. And maybe all these body parts are from other people and made into instruments. Just saying that I've seen this before in a movie, and it's called maybe Loudness of the Goat, no, Silence of the something. Anyway, so I just think that we should check. Does anyone have ability to check mead?
I just kind of think he's a party animal, no pun intended.
Well, if you want to take the mead and try it,
Oh, no,
you
I
might
don't-
as well, but
I
I
don't.
don't.
really drink. I just want to go to bed.
To be honest, this is the safest place, I think, for us to
I
take
don't
a
say it's
nap.
not safe. I think we should check the mead.
I think we should all be wary before drinking it.
Yes.
Sir?
Yes! As he turns around to you, and he's got this huge, fake fruit hat on that goes up like a solid foot now, as he's got these, maracas that
Amazing.
look like some other compromising part.
Is
Maybe
he wearing
like
a coconut bikini?
Yes, it's a coconut bikini. It's
Great.
canon. It's a wood coconut bikini. As he's there with these maracas that look like tongues.
Wow.
You are so kind to welcome us into your home, and you are so very fun.
Oh, thank you.
But
That's
as you
my
can
middle
see,
name.
we are quite young, and we are also quite tired. So perhaps we could take a rest before we have any meat, or
But I want
party.
a party. I'm with you all, and this is the strangers, and I invite you to my home, and you're not going to entertain me. I'm just going to entertain you.
No, we will party so hard with you after we rest. So hard.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
So I'll make that 10 plus 16.
Okay. Takes a moment, and he kind of looks at you, and he goes, if you pinky promise, pinkies out, everybody. And he goes around and he like grabs all of your pinkies and then like kisses each one as he's making the promise. And he goes, okay, so now that we've come to an agreement, you may sleep with the expectation you party with me after.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye. I'm going to go work on some instruments inspired by you. As he like walks towards the wood in the back and like starts to hack away at some of the wood and whistle a tune as he's like chipping away at stuff.
What did he mean by inspired by
This
us?
is what I'm saying. He wants to put our body parts into the wood and make them into instruments.
What? We'll take watch. We'll take a shift.
He could just be eccentric, but you never know.
I lie on one of his many blankets because I am just so exhausted.
You curl up with one of the ones that doesn't smell as much of incense because that scent is just in every corner of this little home.
At least it rounds out the smell of buck.
I thought you said
You smell fat.
but you said buck.
Buck.
And those of you who need rest or want to, watch over your friends, there's no entrance. There's only one main entrance and exit here, very large, carved out kind of open area in this kind of, distorted looking but beautiful tree. You take a moment, you rest up, and it's right around the afternoon. You have a feeling that if you guys all rest up in different parties together, you would probably wake up right around 10 or so at night for this quote-unquote party that he wishes to have. So as you're all sleeping, Starla, you keep your eyes open and your wits about you, and also you, Letty, only have to sleep half the time. So you guys are able to kind of trade off
meditate,
throughout the night.
darling.
Exactly. You guys are able to trade off throughout the night.
So that'd be a short rest?
Long rest.
A long rest.
Okay.
And you're able to rest up appropriately if you're going to actually do a long rest. If you wish to only do a short, you can let me know as well. But it sounds like you guys really want to rest up and heal. As a moment's passing, though, and as you guys are kind of spending the afternoon, you catch this, Starla, as you're kind of like keeping your wits about you, just watching him. He is running everywhere in preparation for this party that you have promised him. Not only has he been whittling and putting one thumb out and one tongue out, looking at your face, like trying to get the exact sort of shape of some part of you. You don't understand what, but he takes a moment and he's just like whittling while watching you.
And I'm gonna pull my jacket closer to me.
That's perfect. Do that. He just keeps kind of carving away at this wood. As he is also whittling, he takes time and he's like gathering and humming and skipping around and grabbing nearby flowers that are like not the nicest flowers, but he's trying, creating garlands, kind of stringing it up in this kind of weird looking tree, trying to make it as presentable and party-like as possible. He also leaves for about an hour, and you don't know where he goes, but you want to keep by your friends. But he's definitely gone for the better part of an hour.
While he's gone, is this while we're still resting? Or, okay.
So he goes away for the better part of an hour as you're just keeping your wits about you, about to trade off with Letty on the end of your watch. And he kind of skips back, and he has all these little lanterns that are glowing, and he kind of hangs them up everywhere. And now there's like a nice kind of like lighting underneath the tree so you can actually see. And he just takes a moment, he watches you. And then he waits for you to trade off with Letty as you guys wake each other up very nervously, patting one another to...
Letty.
Yes, darling.
Just so you know, he's watching us too.
Toodaloo!
Oh,
Have fun.
well, I'm Lady Bridge, and when I'm in a trance, I'm very much more serious. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello, yes.
Who are you? There's so many things going on inside of you. You're fascinating. Oh, maybe I can make like a 5-headed something.
Oh, yes, that would be lovely, darling. Are we supposed to start this party?
Oh, well, you told me you said after you all rest, right?
Yes, they're resting. But I
Do you want to
know-
start it early?
No. What is your idea of a good party?
Good party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm your host, So, most predominantly, it's for you to entertain me limitlessly.
Limitlessly?
Yes, until I am satiated.
That's interesting. And what does it usually take to satiate you?
You want to really know what I really want?
Do I?
Do you really want to know what I really want?
I might.
Okay, come close. Okay. And he, like, grabs your ear and he whispers into your ear. He goes, a fashion show.
Oh, he seems very innocent. Never mind. A fashion
He
show.
he lets go of your ear as he kind of steps back 2 feet.
And I step back and kind of in unexpected wonderment. That's all it takes is a fashion show.
His eyes grow like two sizes like of his face, and like they well with tears as he kind of looks up to you and he goes, a fashion show.
Well, darling, I can assure you that when everyone wakes up, I have an entertainer's pack because I am a bard, and in there we have some costumes, and we will put on the greatest fashion show you've ever seen.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, and he kind of like runs away and like skips through and like just starts to get really animated as he's trying to get everything ready. You see him like drag from some place you don't know, maybe some sort of chest or in the ground, like this huge curtain that he apparently has been working on some time, and starts to drape it against one of the kind of broken down branches as he's just like, oh, and he's just like putting it up, and then he's like carving out like kind of this runway that he's just actively trying to get ready. He's looking very animated right now. The next few hours passed. You guys all wake up to an interesting sort of vision. So he apparently had been burning a little bit of incense once more. I mean, it's his home. He's allowed to do that. So the smoke is kind of in your peripheral, all dancing all around you as you kind of wake up, and you're kind of choking with the scent of this kind of like heavy orange. And he's just standing there, like right at the entrance, like just almost like his whole body is just kind of slack as he's just standing there, looking at you all as you're waking up at the exact moment.
Are you okay?
He's very excited. Oh,
What? I was promised something.
yes, but
What were you? Wait,
Do you
what did
feel
you promise
better?
him?
I do. I feel much better.
Are you
Thank
ready
you.
to party?
Wait, what did you promise him?
well, no,
Oh, yes, I'm so excited. Oh, you promised me the most wonderful thing in the world. I'm so excited.
Is it inappropriate? What is it?
Of course it is.
well,
What is it?
I'm going to tell you, but
It's the worst thing in the world. It's the most beautiful worst thing. I just never thought I would get it, and you promised me it.
I'm really
and now
uncomfortable.
I feel like all of my dreams and fantasies are
I
coming
cannot-
true.
Well, let's hear it then.
Can you
I'm
just
trying,
say
but
it?
Letty doesn't speak very loudly.
Can you just say it?
All right, listen, it's Fonduka, and I'm telling you, she wants a freaking fashion show.
Well, that's easy enough.
That's
we can
really
do
not
that.
as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Exactly.
You said
Just
it
let
was
Letty talk sometime. She wants a fashion show.
It's a he, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. I have problems with that, apparently. So I'm gonna here's my entertainer's pack. I take my entertainer's pack out. We all look through it. We go through costumes.
Yeah, and his when you said it's a fashion show and you guys all reacted, his right hand like twitches and his like left eye twitches, like he's just so excited about the idea of it. He kind of like is in like a stasis of like of almost like fainting if it was a thing. And he takes a moment as you guys all kind of walk past him one by one, like out into the main area, like no big deal, okay. And he just slowly turns around and then like sits on his bare skin rug and like takes a deep breath and like releases it as the actual walkway and the curtain that he has drawn up with all the little fairy lights that are all dancing around now is perfectly in front of him. He kind of has dragged as well when you guys were sleeping the big mead tank over nearby him, and there's just all of this scent of clove and honey and cinnamon protruding from it as he takes a huge scoop of this wood bowl and just like downs the whole thing and then tosses it, and then just kind of with this big pot belly kind of pats it a couple times as he kind of kicks his feet forward, ready for the show. What do you guys do?
So this I know a thing or two about.
Oh, darling.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I was Miss Silvery Moon once when I was in junior high, and
Look at
we
you.
had to learn how to catwalk. So
I knew you was great. I knew you was special. Oh man, we got a little model.
Huck, don't look so scared.
I don't.
It's really not that hard.
No, I don't know how to do any of this.
You know how the raccoon balances on a tree, and how he walks with one paw kind of crossing over the other, so that its hips and belly sort of sway. You can do this.
I don't know about
Just
that.
walk down like you're getting ready to face an opponent at the Golden Corral.
I don't know what that is, and I'm also covered in dirt. I don't think I'm fit for a catwalk.
We promised.
Okay,
We did promise, and he did let us rest.
okay.
And Buck kind of nervously like grabs at your like do I have to do it too?
You can just be on my back, buddy. It's fine. And he like pats Buck's head.
All right. Celine turns toward the creature. It would be helpful if we had some music.
Oh, I'm on it. And he like snaps his finger as you catch that like tied to his arm is apparently a string that he has created to like hit all the instruments. So he's kind of sitting there like playing on all these strings and like kind of using his flute in his, kind of what's the word? The one-man band kind of style. As he's kind of playing the music all around you in the soundscape. He's like, I'm ready! I'm ready!
Oh my god.
Yes.
We all go behind the curtain, and who would like to go first?
Hanselwagen will go second.
I will show you how it's done.
Tell me what you do.
So I peek out the curtain to make sure that he's properly situated. I'm nodding my head to the beat. I flip my hair over my shoulders. And, just for shits and giggles, I bring out my dragon wings.
Oh, wow! You bring out those dragon wings and you just
I'm going to
strut?
give him a show. I told him I would party so hard.
Yeah.
And here I am.
And you strut. And you bring out those, you unfurl those dragon wings, and you look, and you spin, and you look, and you hit. And it's like these tight shots of just your face, just one by one, cutting to the
With my
beat.
golden dragon scales glistening in the spotlight that's peeping through the trees.
Yes,
of
and
the
you
moon.
turn, and the music gets more animated, and she's like, yes, honey, work it! Oh, I love this so much. This is everything I've ever wanted. And you kind of like exit and you
strut
walk
back.
behind.
And cue
Now it's time
Letty.
for Hanselwagen. I've taken out a clown outfit for some reason. I've put it on. The hair is bright red. I have a nose on, and then I have, the pigtails poking out. And then I have my own little skirt and my flowers all in my hair, but I also have a clown outfit on. So I have the horn as well. So as I take one step, honk, 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 and I honk every time I step. And I sway, and I have the attitude Letty has now is the attitude of Hanselwagen, and she just steps, strut, and at the end, she stops, and she stares at him, and she says, work. Yes.
Oh, yes.
I snap and I walk away.
There, he's crying. He's openly weeping as this is happening, and you walk back down. What do you guys do?
I cast light upon myself, so that my whole body is glowing and pulsating in different colors.
Oh, love it.
And I say, Druzilda, it runs in the family. And then I start walking down the runway, strutting, waving my arms as the light glows, and I spin and I look at him and I say, darling, you have a new friend. And then I spin again and I turn and I say, you were right. The scars do make me more beautiful. And then I continue down the runway.
Oh, the grace. And he's just living, like the music is just getting more animated, and he's like kind of shaping it to each one of your styles, he's loving it. Like he's seriously so happy. He's also drinking somehow while this is all happening. Like he's like dipping his head into his mead pool and just like drinking and having a blast. Oh man, we got 2 more to go.
Starla
things
just
up.
grabs a hat, just a hat, and starts to, after seeing what they did, but she is much smaller, so she kind of just hobbles down, swaying very greatly.
He goes, show me what you're work it, darling. Show me your personality. Come on. What you got?
Use your cape.
She just kind of spins at the end of the runway and then nods and walks back.
He kind of takes a moment. He doesn't know how to react to it. fascinating. He just keeps pumping the music on and on and on and on and on, still loving whatever it was you served. You hadn't realized that there was apparently also you can hear the chirping of birds as like one more bird flies out at the end of your catwalk.
Out of the hair.
Okay.
She really needs to have a haircut, that one.
Don't
I
touch
don't
my hair.
want to go, guys. I don't know
I
what
push
to do.
Huck.
No! Huck, like, kind of stumbles out onto the catwalk.
Yeah, and the music
stands there,
stops.
like,
And the music stops.
and he tries so hard. He tries to do the little raccoon catwalk where he puts one foot in front of the other, but it's like pigeon-toed. And he's looking at his feet the whole time so he doesn't stumble. And when he gets to the end of the catwalk, he just kind of stands there in the silence, and then he's like, oh, you know what? I can do this. And he pulls out one of his ropes, and he starts to do rodeo tricks with the rope. And he's like jumping through a hoop, and he's like swinging things, and he like swings his rope up and like hits a branch, and it allows him to like Tarzan swing through the rope.
I love it. Roll a performance check with advantage because everyone's done such a great job. So,
Oh my god, are you serious? It was a 12 and an 11. Yeah, it's a 13.
you know what? He is thoroughly drunk and thoroughly impressed. Like you're kind of doing the like the poor kid's version of this, but it's so good. It's your heart's in it, your soul's in it, you're rodeoing whatever you possibly can with it.
He's trying so hard.
He's trying so hard. And the thing is too is like once you finish and you're like breathing after like really performing with what you can with the rope as it's kind of like draped around you, Buck hops out in front and like does one finger pose like 70s style into the air and just strikes it and then looks up. And Hetty is just absolutely enraptured with the like he stands up, the music has stopped, and he's just like slow clapping.
And I lead the rest of us one by one.
And you
down the
walk
runway.
in.
Encore.
Bows.
Is this good? I don't know.
Darling, you were fabulous.
Okay.
did
Lasso
very
tricks
nice.
forever.
It was
Oh,
very
okay.
good.
Oh, good. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for the best night of my life. And he follows back.
Oh my god.
And he just like drunk in true stupor is just like snoring actively on the ground around 11 p.m. at night, 1 hour into the catwalk and party.
Well, that might be my most favorite new person of all time.
Next time on the broadcast. You know, I'll have some of this. Mill's a drinker in the group, all right?
Does anyone wake me up?
Nobody comes near my penis flute.
He's back at the school with Professor Adewale. Hey, I'm Kimberly Daugherty, and I play Celine Tessar.
Hi, I'm Kellen Coleman, and I play
Letty Marie Ricecroft.
Hi, my name is Alice Greczyn, and I play Druzilda Slinderon.
Hi, I'm Erika Fermina, and I'm playing Starla Highhill.
Hi, my name's Rachel Seeley, and I am playing Huck Lockley.
I'm Kelly Lynn D'Angelo, your dungeon master and woman of many faces, creatures, and things unknown.
And I'm Richard Quiner, and I produce this podcast in partnership with Wizards of the Coast.